Hey, what's up? It's Mr. Bartolings. I'm here with your new workout. Today, we've got the Move and Groove. This workout is not going to be about ramping that heart rate up and getting lots of quick movement in. In fact, it's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be a lot more low key, and it's going to be about slowing things down. This workout is focused on helping us improve our movement by focusing on three things. We're going to start by looking at our mobility. Then we're going to look at our stability and then go into doing an actual set of movements or an exercise where we're getting a bunch of repetitions of a movement. So we're going to start with that mobility because we want to kind of prep the body for the movement we're going to do. Mobility is often what we're doing in our warm-up when we're getting ready for that fast-paced workout. In this case, we're going to give some attention to different parts of the body and hopefully increasing some range of motion and quality of movement. That's the mobility portion. Then we're going to go into stability, where we're looking to focus on that core, stabilizing so that we can improve our movement when we get to the actual movement portion. Because you see, stability and mobility help us to work on and perform our actual big movements, whether we're moving weight on our back or in our hands or body weight. So we're going to do our exercises in groups of three: mobility, stability, and then that movement. We're going to repeat those three movements for 4 sets going through that circuit. So that will be for 12 rounds, and then we're going to take a little break and move on to a new cluster of 3 exercises where we have a new mobility, stability, and then movement-focused exercise. So clear the space, get your water bottle ready, a chair or something that's a little bit higher that you can use for some balance will be helpful for some of the exercises if you have it, and then we're going to get ready to rock. Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of a demo. We're not going to do much of a warm-up here because the actual nature of the workout, going through that mobility, stability to the movement, the warm-up is pretty much built in. So I'm going to give you a preview of our first cluster. The first mobility exercise that we're going to do is the spider lunge and reach. So set yourself up here in a tabletop position, hands under shoulders, spread the fingers out, knees under hips. We're going to step back, like you're in a high plank or the top of a push-up. Get nice and strong. Then I want you to do your best to step one foot out and get it outside of the one hand. You can hold this position with your knee off of the ground, nice and straight, or tap that knee down if you need to. We're going to reach up to the ceiling, fingertips straight up, opening up your chest, and then bring it down. Knee comes off the ground. Switch, step, knee down or up, open up, and reach. And then back down, and then you'll repeat it. So what we're doing in this mobility exercise is threefold. Firstly, we're getting a nice stretch here in through this hip flexor of the leg that is back. Secondly, we're getting movement in our mid-upper back, our T-spine, as we're doing this rotation, as well as stretching through our pec and shoulders of that arm that's reaching, okay? There's also some nice movement for that lunge when we're doing the lunge. Okay, so that's our first mobility exercise. The next exercise in this cluster of 3 is going to be our slow bicycle. So lie on your back. I want you to try to bring the bottom ribs and your hips a little bit closer together. So I'm exhaling, bringing them closer. You can also think about trying to glue your low back to the mat. So if somebody tried to stick their hand under your low back, it would be a lot harder or impossible. From here, bring your arms over your chest, knees up and bent, and we're going to extend our legs, but in an alternating fashion. So extend, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. You're going to notice that as soon as you start exhaling and extending this leg, you're going to have to tighten up that core, really brace as though somebody's about to step on your belly in order to keep your low back from coming off of the ground. Okay? The key here is doing it slowly, because when you do it quickly, there's kind of this elastic reaction, and it doesn't give enough time also in your core to have to manage and control that position, because all you're doing is bouncing back and forth with the legs. So doing it slowly is key. If you want to follow my timing, that would be great. All right. The third exercise here is going to be a reverse lunge, and this is where your chair will come in handy. So set up your chair. This is so that we're really just focusing on that movement and not having to worry as much about the weight of the movement. For some of us, especially if lunges are really challenging balance-wise, some of that is because of the actual balance of the movement. Other times it's because we have to move our whole body weight to do it, and that just becomes too much. So it's up to you if you want to use the chair or not. It also gives us a chance to kind of hang out at the bottom of the lunge and have a little bit of support. So from here, we're going to take a step back, drop down into that lunge. We want to make sure that the knee is under the hip, ankle is just behind the knee, and then up. Switch, drop down, and up. And up. And you'll do that for the whole interval. Again, you don't need to use the chair, but for some of us, it might be helpful and help us really control that a little bit better. The work to rest here is going to be 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds to kind of shake it off and transition to the next thing. And we'll do that for 12 rounds because we've got those 3 exercises: mobility, stability, and movement. And we're going to repeat that 4 times. So get yourself ready. We're going to start with that spider lunge and reach. We've got about 10 seconds. Set yourself up on the mat. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Step back, and let's get into that spider lunge and reach. Here we go. Big step forward. Reaching up to the ceiling. Pause it. Bring that hand back down. Leg back and switch. Remember, if that back knee needs to go down, put that back knee down. We're going to get as many reps in here as we can in the 30 seconds, which doesn't have to be a lot, but we're going to come back to this one, remember, a couple of times. This is probably our last one right here.
3,
Open.
2, 1.
And then down. Good. Let's flip it over now. Get onto our back and get to our slow bicycle.
3,
Glue your low back to the ground. Hands up. Here we go. Exhale and extend. Inhale. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And slowly just switching. Out. In. If you find that you're losing that contact with your low back or losing that tension in your midsection, then just don't go as far. And you're still challenging it just the same way that somebody would be challenging it if they extended all the way. Good. Feet down. All right. Set yourself up with your chair or without. Reverse lunges. Down, up. Try to keep that chest pretty upright. You can have a little bit of a forward lean. Okay? Get as low as you can. For some of us, the reason why the chair is also helpful is because we can't get as low and we want to have that control. So use the chair. Okay? Don't grip it for dear life, but have that chair just there as that little bit of support, little bit of help. Good. All right, back to our spider lunge. Set up. Extend those legs. Big step. Open up, reach. Back down. Step. Open up that chest, fingertips reaching up to the ceiling. Bring them back down to the ground. One more time each side. Step. Open up that chest, reaching up. We don't need to reach back. That's going to bring in some extra twisting that we don't need.
3, 2, 1.
Nicely done. Okay, going back to that slow bicycle.
3,
Setting up, arms up,
1.
knees bent. You can even pause here for a moment. Check in with yourself. Make sure that that's nice and tight in that midsection. I like to stick my hand here to check to make sure that my low back is not coming off the ground.
That's halfway.
Notice that sometimes I do that one breath, then breathe in to bring it in. Sometimes I do a bunch of shorter, sharp breaths to just keep repeating that tension making in my midsection. I'm just keep thinking about wanting to keep that tension, that tightness in my midsection to help control that movement and not create any movement in my midsection. Oh, we're here at our lunges already.
That's halfway.
Missed the switch there, that's okay. We've got a couple more sets. I was getting a little bit too much into my bicycles there. Nice control, it's not a rush here.
2, 1, breathe.
Let's add 2 more lunges here since we missed them. Good. Back to spider lunge and reach.
1.
Okay. This time when you get here, I want you to grab your foot and just rock forward a little bit more. Rock forward. Reach up. Switch. Grab your foot, keep it glued down. Rock that knee forward a little bit. Rock that knee forward. Reach up. Good. Switch. Let's just open up for sake of time.
2,
Switch.
1, breathe.
Open up. Excellent. Slow bicycles.
3, 2, 1.
Glue that low back here.
Stabilize.
Decide what kind of breathing. A longer breath, keeping that tension, or some short, sharp breaths. There you go. Sometimes people feel silly about what their breathing sounds like, but it makes a difference. So don't worry about being silly. Just think about how effective you're being in your workout.
1, breathe.
Good. Feet down. Back to our lunges. If that alternating reverse lunge is a bit tough,
1, 2,
start on one side and just stick with that side doing split squats. Maybe that reverse lunge has been a bit too challenging for you. That's okay. Now look, now I'm not going to grip it so hard. Just a little bit of help.
halfway.
Switch, other side. It's just a little bit of help to make sure that I'm in control, keeping that heel down,
3,
trying to go straight up and down.
breathe.
Good. All right. This is our 4th cycle. You know that this is our last one.
3,
Okay?
2, 1.
Here we go.
Stabilize.
Big step. Reach. Let's add a little something here. You can rock back, little hamstring stretch, switch. Reach. Little rock back, hamstring stretch. Other side. Reach. Little rock back and switch. Reach.
3,
Little rock back, hamstring stretch.
breathe.
Woo. That hamstring stretch, I feel that immediately. Okay. Slow bicycle.
2, 1.
Up.
Stabilize.
Go to that bicycle, or if you want to add a little bit more of a challenge, both feet out. Both feet in. This is more of a challenge because now more of the weight is going away from the body.
That's halfway.
We're having to engage that core even more to keep us from compensating or making adjustments
3, 2,
and losing position.
breathe.
Good. Last one. Oh, I have to fight to keep that low back glued.
3,
Okay.
2,
Lunges or split squats,
2.
with or without the chair. The reason why we include after the mobility, that stability, that core focus, is because our body sometimes needs to be given the information that, you know what, my core, it's awake. It's focused. It's building that tension that's going to allow me to control my movement and maximize that mobility that I've been working on. Good, and relax. So, how are you feeling? Move around a little bit, okay? Especially in that lower body. I hope you're feeling like you're a bit freer with your movement, maybe a little bit looser because of those spider lunges and then going into the lunges. We're going into our next cluster. It's going to be 2 different mobility exercises that we're going to switch back and forth with. And then we've got our plank jacks, and we're going to do some push-ups to down dog. So this is what it's going to look like. Get into that tabletop position. Sit your hips back. You're going to put your hand on the back of your neck. Bring your elbow behind your elbow as you inhale. Exhale. Open up. Inhale. Exhale. Open up. Okay? We're going to do that for 15 seconds on the one side, 15 seconds on the other side. We're going to do that for 2 sets. Then, when we go to the last 2 times through our cluster, we're going to do a floor slide. So we're going to be lying on our back, arms at 90 degrees, out to our sides. Okay? We're going to exhale, press those arms overhead. Try to keep your shoulders from shrugging. Keep them down. Inhale, bring those elbows towards your ribs as you breathe in. Exhale, breathe out, out. I want you to keep your forearms, the back of your hands, and your elbows in contact with the ground, just getting some nice movement. Okay, so those are our 2 mobility movements. Our core exercise is going to be in the front plank. Squeeze those glutes, tighten up, elbows in line with shoulders, and we're just going to do step out jacks. Okay, don't let those hips twist. Our actual movement that we're going to perform is going to be push-up to pike, not to pike push-up. So it looks like this. You can be performing this on the ground or on a couch, okay? So from here, push-up, I'm going to pull myself down, elbows in line with ribs, back to the top of the push-up, pike, a little stretch, and a little break. Inhale, exhale, pike, okay? And repeat. If push-ups on the ground are too hard, again, you could do the same thing here on the couch. Lower, up, stretch. Or you could do a lowering push-up either on the couch or on the ground, which is going to be a little bit easier than either of the ones where we do a full push-up, which is lower, drop your knees, hips back, pike, and repeat. Lower, drop your knees, hips back, pike, or down dog if you want to call it that. All right, so in a couple seconds here, we're going to start with that mobility, which again was the quadruped reach back, starting this position. So get set here. 3, 2, 1. Hips back, hand on the back of your neck. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. As you exhale, open up, follow your elbow with your eyes and your head. Good. Switch sides.
3, 2, 1. Break.
There you go. We'll do that one more time when we come back to mobility, and then add our next one. We're going to go to our plank jacks.
3,
Get into that plank position.
1.
Step out. Try to look at the space just in front of your hands or between your hands. Stepping out, try not to let your hips move up and down or side to side. That's halfway. Reset it. If you really don't feel you need it to reset, you didn't have to. But you want to make sure that you're staying tight in that midsection like we did with those bicycles. Good, knees down. Now to the push-ups. Whew. On the couch, on the floor, lowers or not. Set up. Here we go. Pull down, up, pike,
The pike gives us a bit of a stretch through our upper body and our hamstrings, but also a break from the push-ups.
That's halfway.
So we're not looking to get a ton of push-ups done. We're looking to get a handful of really good ones done. Inhale as you go down, exhale.
2, 1.
Good job. Okay, we're going back to that quadruped reach back.
3,
Here,
2, 1.
hips or butt onto your heels. We're pushing our hips back onto our heels because we don't want to be twisting through our low back. And when we keep our butt to our heels, it's a lot harder to do that.
Halfway.
Switch. Following your elbow with your eyes, your head will allow you to move a bit more.
1. Break.
Last one. Because where the head moves, the body follows.
3,
So we want to make sure that we're
1.
getting those eyes following the elbow. Let's do those plank jacks or plank step touches. We can go to the full plank jack on that last interval for those of you who need it. Touch down, reset, halfway mark there. I can't see myself, but I'm hoping that my hips and shoulders
3,
are in line
2,
with my head.
break.
Down. Good. You're going to feel this a little bit in your shoulders. If the push-ups become too much,
2,
just rock between the down dog. So if push-ups are too much, just do some down dogs. Today's not about getting our muscles stronger.
That's halfway.
Today is about getting some good movement in, challenging, improving, mobilizing, stabilizing,
1.
moving.
Break.
Woo! Nice job. This time, let's lie on our back,
2,
go into those floor slides. Elbows towards our ribs. Exhale. Slide slowly up. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going, keep going. Inhale, keep that low back glued to the ground, just like with the bicycles. Exhale. Don't worry about pushing those hands straight overhead. Go overhead and at an angle.
3, 2, 1. Break.
There we go. Nice. Nice change from that quadruped reach back. Okay. For some of you, doing the plank step outs might be a bit too tough. We can go into push-up hold and step outs. That is also an option. For some of you, that might feel better on your shoulders. Okay, it all depends. Or you're down on the mat here,
That's halfway.
stepping out. Tight in that midsection. I always try to imagine that somebody's going to be beside me, trying to give me just a little kick in the gut. Sounds like a bad thing to imagine, but
2,
it helps me.
1. Break.
It helps me build that tension in my midsection. Okay, push-ups to pike, or just cycling through those pikes.
2,
Here we go. Ooh, bonus push-up. Some of you might go right from push-up
that's halfway.
into pike, if you have that control. Just grooving that a little bit more.
3,
Last one.
2, 1. Break.
Nice. It's nice to find that rhythm, that groove. If you're in grade 11 or 12 Physeta Tech Bach, that is
3,
the code word for the day, for the workout. It's groove. So groove with me here. Pull those elbows in towards your ribs. Slide those hands overhead. Inhale, keep it tight in that midsection. Exhale.
that's halfway.
I'm trying to keep my ribs from flaring up. Inhale. I'm actually pushing my low back into the ground.
2, 1, break.
Excellent. Woo! Okay. Last time with that stabilize and then the movement.
Stabilize.
Step out jacks from push-up hold or plank. If you want to challenge it a bit more, you can actually do the jacks, but don't let those hips drop. It's nice and quick. Staying solid throughout the entire set. 10 seconds left. Woo! Almost there. 5 seconds. Stay sturdy.
3, 2, 1, break.
Holy moly. Going into my push-ups from here is going to be tough. If the push-ups are going to be too hard for you from there, go to those pikes or go to the couch. I'm going to do some at the couch here. Nice pike. Oh, stretch those hammies. In through that push-up. Back to that down dog or that pike.
That's halfway.
Try to stay straight from head to heels, head to hips to heels throughout the push-up. And then break that position
3,
with the down dog, the pike.
1. Rest a minute.
Excellent. So this isn't about cranking up our heart rate, but probably at this point, you're noticing your breath a little bit. I'm noticing it more because I'm talking lots, but my body's getting warmer for sure. So we're getting lots of movement, which is great. Our next grouping is going to be frog stretch paired with side plank, paired with squat variation. So check it out, frog stretch. Set up in this tabletop position. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Now I want you to shimmy, pause that. Shimmy your knees out a little bit so that you're a bit wider between your knees than when you started. You want your knees to be at 90 degrees. So don't have your heels touching together. Have your heels out to have a 90-degree angle at your knees. So I have 90 at my hips to knees, knees here, and ankles. From here, I'm going to breathe in, exhale, push my hips back immediately, getting a stretch on the inside of my legs, my groin. Inhale, exhale as you rock back. Inhale, exhale as you rock back. We want to avoid a rounded back, so keep that chest proud. Some of you might need to challenge it more and go in your forearms. It's important here, though, that you don't look like this. So chest proud. All right, and then when you're done, walk yourself out, bring your legs together, come up. That one's a bit challenging to get out of if you don't walk out of it. You're going to strain yourself. Okay, side plank. We're going to do 15 seconds on one side, 15 on the other. So elbow under shoulder, stack it, knees bent and on your knees. That's option 1. Option 2 is straighten the top leg. Option 3 is right here. Okay, if you want to make it tougher, instead of raising a leg or moving it right now, I want you to try to pull your elbow in towards your feet, creating even more tension here through the side of your body. Drop down, switch to the other side. And then we're going to go to squats. We can use the chair to help us just hang out at the bottom of the squat a little bit. Feet hip width apart, toes straight or turned out a little bit. Lower, hang out, come up. If the chair helps a bit with balance, make sure you're using the chair the right way so you get the balance that you need. It's not going to flip on you. Come up. Balance it down here, whatever helps. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can do an overhead squat or a prison squat. So hands here, which is going to challenge you to keep that upright position a little bit more. If you've got a low enough ceiling, overhead squat. We don't want to look like this though, trying to keep our arms overhead. So if you're bending forward because of the arms, don't worry about the arms. Okay, so we're starting about 20 seconds. Get a sip. We're halfway through this workout. We're going to start with that frog stretch. It's a challenging one. You're going to feel it. Okay, So let's set up hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Now get those knees out a bit. You're going to want a mat or something to be under those knees. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. So I'm not going to call that out for you anymore. You just focus those breaths. You can hang out a little bit in that position where your hips are back, getting that stretch, but you don't need to hang out there long. Let's get our last one. Breathe in. Exhale. Nicely done. Okay. Transitioning to our side plank. Elbow, under shoulders, under shoulder. Here we go. Stack your knees. One leg out, both out. Pull your elbow towards your feet. Choose the right one. We're doing half the time on one side, half on the other. Down, other side. Let's get it. Right away, getting into that position. Straight from head to heels. Pushing that foot into the ground. Hips down. Excellent. Okay, use that chair for those squats if that's helpful. Or sit up here, hanging out the bottom a little bit, moving and grooving, coming back down. I'm going to put those hands behind my head. Notice when I do that I'm not leaning forward now or wrenching my neck. I'm not grabbing my neck, grabbing my head. My hands are just back there. Open up my chest. Challenge that mobility in my mid-upper back a little bit more to try to be able to get into this position. Still stay tight in your midsection. Excellent. Let's bring it to the mat. How are you feeling right now? This is challenging. If you're doing that overhead, getting this frog stretch in, they're not easy. This frog stretch may be a bit uncomfortable. As long as it's not painful. You gotta know the difference between discomfort and pain. Okay? Uncomfortable means that in that moment, you just really need to focus in on that breathing, and as you breathe more, you're like, okay, I can manage this a bit more. Pain, not good. Sharp pain, not good. Then you need to back off a bit. Let's do side plank. Start on your second side this time. Here we go. It's good to alternate which side you start with, because often when you flip, you lose 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, and then that side misses out a bit. I don't want it to miss out. So we'll just switch each time which side we start with. Other side. See, we lost a couple seconds there, 1 or 2. Not a big deal though, because we started now with the side that we ended last time, so we're balancing it out. Straight from head to heels. Pull that elbow in if you can. Down. Awesome. Back to those squats. These squats hopefully are feeling pretty good, especially because we were doing those lunges already in our first cluster. Remember, with our squat, heels glued to the ground, knees pushed out to be in line with the middle of our feet, chest proud. Try some overheads here. Try not to hit my ceiling. Get 1 or 2 more here.
3, 2, 1, break.
Woo! That feels good. Okay. Frog stretch. One nice thing about the frog stretch, because maybe you're like, there's not many nice things about this stretch. But by stretching those adductors, those muscles, those groin muscles on the inside part of our leg, exhale, go back. We're allowing ourselves in our squats to be able to push our knees out a little bit more, get them in line with our toes, to create a little bit more space for us to lower down into, which is important. We don't want to be tight trying to get into that position. Side plank. Starting on that side we started on the very first time. Here we go. Nice and solid. Head to heels. Lock it down. Try to pull that elbow in towards your feet. If you want to add a challenge to the stability, you could reach up. You could do that. That's all good.
That's halfway.
Switch to the other side. Pull elbows towards your feet. Reaching up. Nice and strong in this position. 2, 1. Good. Okay, let's get into our squats. So, with our squats, we want to make sure that we're keeping our feet that hip width apart, knees out, chest proud. Lowering down, coming back up. Inhale to lower, exhale to rise. Use that chair if you need it. That chair, imagine it's right in front of you. So you can groove in, come up. You can hang out at the bottom if you want to a little bit, especially with the chair. Get a little stretch of those ankles a little bit, chest proud, come up. Again, that's why it's a bit more challenging, hands behind head or hands overhead. Woo. Okay, I believe this is our last time through this one. So, set up in that frog, knees out, let's rock back. Inhale, exhale. There you go. Sounds like my daughter's having a really good time upstairs. Hopefully you're not hearing that. I don't think she got the cereal she wanted for breakfast. She'll be okay. Don't worry. Inhale, exhale. Let's hang back for a minute. Not literally, just a moment. Come out of it. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Awesome. Walk yourself out of it. Bring those legs together. Let's get the side plank. Here, get ready. Get yourself up. Good. Pull that elbow towards your feet. Straight from head to heels. Challenge that stability a bit more. Reaching up, up. Staying solid. We're almost there. Drop, other side. Here we go. Come on now, stick with it. Remember, you might be on your knees. That's okay. Knees bent or one leg straight. Wherever you need to be to keep the challenge real. Drop your hips. Awesome. Okay. Getting into our squats here. It's the last set, gang. Okay, last set of squats. Inhale. Exhale. If you can hang out down there for a moment and not lose yourself. Try to push your hips forward. Keep your weight on your heels. Hips towards heels. Stand up. Look straight forward. I was looking up, but I want to look forward. I don't want to wrench my neck. Get a couple more squats in here. There we go. Oh man, okay. Look, we're not moving fast. We're not trying to ramp that heart rate up, but inevitably, when we're getting this much movement in, you're going to increase that heart rate a bit, which is great. I'm feeling really warm. We're getting to our last cluster, and then we're going to get ready to rock. Okay, getting into our last cluster of 3 exercises. This is what we're going to do. Our last, mobility, stability, and movement. We're going to do 90-90. So start sitting kind of like you're chilling here like this, and I want you to drop your knees to one side. Notice that I'm going to have a 90-degree angle on this back leg and a 90-degree angle here on this front leg. Okay? I want to keep that position. My chest is going to be towards this front leg. I'm going to try to keep my chest parallel to the front shin. Okay? I'm going to have my hand on the outside of my knee, here on the inside of the crook of my ankle, or just behind it. Chest proud. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Rock forward. What I'm trying to do is not crunch forward. What I'm trying to do is kind of scoop my butt back. So I'm proud chest, keep my butt back, and I'm folding at my hips. Folding at my hips and holding that position. Each time I exhale, trying to settle further into it. Okay? Then we're going to flip over to the other side. Do the same thing. Okay? We're all going to feel it in different places. We're going to spend about 15 seconds on one side, 15 seconds on the other side. And then we're going to go into our stability exercise. Stability is going to be shoulder touches. So from here, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and step them out. You might want to go a little bit wider than normal. Shoulder touch, touch, touch. Don't let those hips move. Now for some of you, that's going to be really tough. Maybe what you're going to do is just touch between your hands, touch between your hands. For the rest of you, just stick with this push-up hold, straight from head to heels, and you're going to be rocking it. Okay, our final movement is going to be our glute bridges, lying on our back, dig our heels into the ground, hips up, tap down, staying tight in that midsection, tap down. Okay, so don't arch through your back, drive your heels in, squeeze your glutes, and actually think about tightening up in your midsection like you're doing like the smallest crunch in the world. Just that little bit to stay tight, and then down. And we're going to spice that up a little bit as we go. So set yourself up. Get ready for that 90-90 stretch. Chilling. Drop your knees down. Here we go. Proud chest. Hand outside my knee. Hand somewhere near my ankle. Exhale. And settle here. Again, we're not rounding our back and doing this. Okay? Think about somebody pulling from the chest part of your shirt forward. Good. Out of it, roll to the other side. Same thing. Imagine somebody's pulling that shirt forward and down.
3, 2, 1.
Ease out of it. Awesome. Into our shoulder touches or mat touches or push-up hold.
2,
Here we go.
1.
Nice and solid.
Stabilize.
Maybe you're going to start with just the little touch between. It's less time that you have to be on one arm or right to those shoulder touches.
That's halfway.
Or maybe you're going to stay here. This is where you want to be. That is totally fine. Nice and solid. Pressing into the floor. Tighten that midsection. Lock those knees. Digging the balls of your feet into the ground. Knees down. Good. Glute bridges. Heels into the ground.
2, 1. Move.
Really squeeze those glutes, getting a stretch here through your hip flexor as you push those hips up. Making sure, though, that you're not pushing those hips up by arching your back. Stay tight. Squeeze those glutes. Last one.
1. Break.
Good. Roll to your side. Let's start 90-90 this time on the other side. Chillin'. Drop them.
1.
Here we go.
Stabilize.
Proud chest. Don't look down. Look ahead. Each exhale. Try and go a little further.
That's halfway.
Over to the other side. Again, that shirt's being pulled.
3, 2, 1.
Last breath.
Break.
Woo. Feeling that one. You got to be intentional about it, though. You can't just hang out there.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Set up.
Stabilize.
Push up hold. Or tap the mat. Or shoulder touches. What this requires is that you squeeze those glutes. Lock those knees.
That's halfway.
That's halfway. You need to tap down and reset. Do that. That reset is just to make sure that if you've lost that tension in your midsection, you can kind of restart full strength instead of being in that
Break.
kind of relaxed state that you've gotten in over the course of that exercise. Whoop! Glute bridges. Up, squeeze, tap down. I like to keep my hands on my abdominals to just remind myself that I need to keep that tension. I even press into my abdominals, and then
That's halfway.
it reminds me that I don't want that hand to sink in towards my guts. I protect it. I protect them by making sure I've got that kind of semi-crunch here. That tension in that midsection.
Great.
Last one, good. We're going to give the option of single leg glute bridges on these last 2 sets.
3,
Okay,
2,
here we go, 90-90, starting on that first side. Proud chest. And look what I'm doing. I'm folding out my hips, and I'm even thinking about scooting. It's like not even really moving. But I'm thinking about pushing those hips back as I do it to focus on the fold. I'm feeling the stretch on the outside of my hip that is of the leg in front of me. Some of you might feel it here. If it gets to be a bit much, ease out of it. Come back in. Whoop.
3, 2.
Forgot to switch sides. Not a big deal. We're going to focus more on this side on the next interval. So we're all good. Don't worry. It's not going to be this crazy imbalance. You're going to be okay. Let's get to that push-up hold and shoulder touches or taps.
Stabilize.
Woo! Get it. Get it. If you want to make it tougher, touch your shoulder, reach your head down. Touch your shoulder, reach your head down. Touch your shoulder, reach out to the side, down. Touch your shoulder, reach out to the side, down. Touch your shoulder, big, swoop around. Oop, don't hit the chair. Touch your shoulder, big, swoop around, down. All I'm doing
3,
is giving you
1.
a couple different ways that you can increase the time that you're on the one hand. Okay? Doesn't really matter how you do it.
3,
Glute bridges. You can do 2 feet down or
2.
1 foot up. And we're going to just focus on this one side now. Just the one side. Same thing. Tighten in that midsection. Something you can do is grab onto that knee and keep it in really close. We're going to stay with the one side. This can actually help you as well with avoiding arching your back.
3, 2, 1.
Last one.
Great.
Good. Back to 90-90. Whoa. We're hanging out on this side longer, right? Because we
2.
missed out last time.
Mobilize.
Ooh, this is our last time. Here through this cluster, and then we're done the workout. Excellent job. Again, thinking about scooting that hip back, folding out our hips.
That's halfway.
That's okay. We'll stick around here for most of the interval. Let's get one last little visit here before the time's up.
3, 2, 1.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Push-up hold. Shoulder taps.
3,
Mat taps.
1.
Choose
Stabilize.
what you want. I'm going to focus in here for a little bit. Really get that tension in my core. Tap it. Touch it. If your hips are shifting from side to side, you got to focus in a little bit more.
Halfway.
This might be too tough of a variation, or your feet need to be a little bit wider apart. We don't want to be doing the splits, though, with our legs. So you got to check it whether it's worth doing the shoulder tap.
2, 1. Great.
It might just be out of your reach right now, which is okay. Okay, last glute bridges. Set it up.
3,
Hug the knee in.
1.
Here we go, single legs. Or you can have both feet down. Remember, that is certainly still an option. This is just a way to challenge it a bit more. Focus in on that one side.
Halfway.
You got it. Got a few more reps here. Drive that heel in.
3, 2, 1.
And tap down.
Minute.
Excellent. Woo! So, how are you feeling? We got some really great movement in through there. Grooving through those movements, through those mobility drills. Getting some core work. All of that working together to improve the way that you move, to help you be freer in the things that you do. Whether it's working out, which is a very small part of your life, or more importantly, all the fun that you're having moving around doing the other activities that you do in life. All right, really, really great job following along. I hope you feel good. You don't really need a cool down from this, other than maybe going out for a nice walk, which is always just incredible. Okay, otherwise, I hope you're ready for for the rest of your day, or I hope that this was a great end cap to your day. For those of you who are in grade 11, 12 phys ed at Tech Voc, remember, the code word for this workout was groove. Have a great day. See you at the next workout.